We're going to dive into one of the most maddening problems in the modern workplace. You know the one, that feeling that you're absolutely crushing it, doing incredible work, but for some reason, it's just not leading to that promotion or the recognition you know you deserve. Well, this explainer is all about digging into exactly why that happens. Think about this for a second. This quote just hits the nail on the head. You spend days, maybe weeks, pouring your soul into some massive, detailed project, believing the work itself is what defines your value. But the people making decisions about your career, they're often running on a 10-second impression.
I mean, who hasn't felt this, right? You're the one hitting every single deadline. Your work is spotless. You're the person everyone goes to when things get tough. And then the promotion announcements roll out, and your name's just not there. It is a uniquely frustrating feeling.
And, to rub salt in the wound, you look over and see other people, the ones who seem to spend more time making conversation by the coffee machine than actually working, and they're the ones getting ahead. It feels completely backward, maybe even unfair. But believe it or not, there's a real logic to it, and we're going to unpack it.
So here's the big secret. Your work probably isn't the problem at all. The real issue is a belief, a really expensive belief that most of us have been taught our whole lives, and is actively sabotaging our careers. Let's get into what that is.
Okay, first things first. We have to talk about the meritocracy myth. This is that lovely idea that if you just keep your head down, work hard, and produce great stuff, the right people will magically notice and reward you. It sounds great, it sounds fair, but it's just not how things work, especially in big companies.
And here's the first dose of reality. The senior leaders, your boss's boss and the VPs and directors, they are not reading your code. They are not combing through your 40-page reports. They just don't have the time or the mental space to track the day-to-day output of every single person.
So, if they aren't actually watching your work, how in the world do they form an opinion of you? Well, that brings us to the core idea for today, the proxy crisis. This is the hidden system that's really shaping your career.
So what is a proxy? It's basically a mental shortcut. Since a senior leader can't possibly know the details of your work, their brain creates a simple stand-in, like a little mental avatar that represents you. And that's the you they think of when it's time to make big decisions about projects, raises, and promotions.
This is the key distinction right here. Leaders aren't judging the work itself. They can't. They're judging the signals that bubble up to them about your work. The story, the chatter, the impressions, that becomes their reality.
And this is where it gets kind of wild. Look at how these proxies are actually built. It's not from your official performance review, no. It's built from these tiny little data points, a comment someone overheard, your name getting mentioned in a meeting you're not even in, that one smart question you asked 3 months ago. It's all socially constructed.
And all of a sudden, that icky term, office politics, starts to look a little different, doesn't it? It's not about backstabbing or being fake. It's about signal management. It's the skill of making sure the signals you're sending out there create an accurate, strong, and positive proxy of you in the minds of leaders.
Okay, so if we're going to manage our signals, we need to know what kinds of signals are out there. And for the most part, they fall into two big buckets: signals about your deliverables and signals about your leadership.
Think of it this way. On the left, deliverable signals. That's your what. It's being great at your job, hitting deadlines, producing solid, reliable work. It's what most of us focus on. But on the right, you've got leadership signals. This is all about your strategic thinking, your judgment, your insight into the bigger picture. This is your how and your why.
And this is the crisis. This is the trap. When you pour 100% of your energy into just sending deliverable signals, the proxy that leaders form of you is flat. They see you as an amazing technician, a fantastic doer, but they don't see you as a leader.
And that leads you straight into something called the reliable resource trap. It's this strange paradox where being incredibly good at your current job is the very thing that prevents you from getting the next one.
This slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? A reliable resource is known for what you do, you're so good, you get used, and you stay put. A strategic asset, on the other hand, is known for how you think. You get pulled into bigger conversations, you get more visibility, and you get advanced. Let that one sink in for a second. It's a tough pill to swallow, but your greatest strength, your flawless execution, and your reliability can actually become a cage. Why would the company move you if you're the only one who can perfectly solve a critical problem right where you are? Okay, so enough of the bad news. The great news is you can totally fix this.
It's all about consciously closing the gap between how capable you actually are and how capable the organization thinks you are. It's about building a better, stronger proxy.
We call this the visibility-credibility gap. Your actual skill level is way up here, but the perception of it is down here because you've only been sending one type of signal. If you want that promotion, your #1 job is to close this gap.
And look, you can do this without feeling slimy or political. Here are 3 super practical things. 1, be present. Figure out how to get into the meetings where the strategy is decided, not just the meetings where the work is handed out. 2, be inquisitive. Ask one thoughtful, big-picture question when a senior leader presents. And 3, be generous. Find a cool article about your industry and share it with a colleague on a different team. These are all powerful leadership signals.
What this all comes down to, really, is taking control. It's about shifting from being a passive character in a story that other people are writing about you to picking up the pen and becoming the author of your own career narrative. And what's so important to realize is this is not about adding more work to your already packed schedule. You are already sending signals constantly. Every email you write, every meeting you're in, every Slack message, it's all a signal. The only choice you have is whether you do it on autopilot or whether you do it consciously.
So I'm going to leave you with this question to really think about. Right now, at this very moment, when your name comes up in a meeting you're not in, what's the story they tell? What's the proxy that exists in their minds? Are you the reliable resource, or are you the strategic asset?
Because at the end of the day, that's the big takeaway. You can't just sit back and wait for recognition to be given to you. It's not a gift. It's something you have to build. You have to architect it intentionally, one smart signal at a time.